Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel for today's video. So today I wanted to talk to you about how the narcissist regrets all that they've done to you. So let's jump in. Now, you may not see this right now, today, but I promise you, if you're one of the sources of supply that was the primary source, what they called a grade A, or the chosen source, the generational curse breaker, you best believe within probably 2 years of your departure from them, you are going to get some bad news that these narcissists that you were with have been completely and utterly defeated and destroyed. They're going to have made a name for themselves that is going to plummet them all the way down to the ground and bury them underneath the ground. A lot of times they will be without house and home, no car. All their relationships will be gone. They'll be dead, broken, poor. They might be pregnant out of wedlock, not knowing the baby's father. I mean, anything could happen. It gets really horrible. And this is why a lot of times early on, when they leave you or you leave them or disengage with them, it feels so horrible and you feel so devastated and destroyed. You want them to get their negative reaping, and rightfully so, right, for what they've done to you. And you really want it within like a 6-month period. You feel like that's what's just. But see, the Lord don't work on your schedule and timeline. And I'm not trying to be funny, but what I am trying to say, especially after having my own involvement and being several years out, that this kind of stuff is something that the Lord works on later on, because he wants you to be healed up to a place and a point in time to where you really, and I've heard this before and I understand it now, that you're not going to run to their call and to bail them out of that negative reaping. And when you do something like that, you also have to pay for some of it. So then it falls on your back again. And when you think that they've been devastated and completely knocked to the ground or buried underneath the ground with the devastations that come at them, it's not enough. It's really not. Whatever you think is enough is not enough, because they'll still be in their pompous self, and you'll find out later if you bail them out. And when you have waited long enough to where you have healed up to a point in a place and time to where you've gotten over it, that's when you have to detach energetically. You have to be completely done with the rumination. You have to have healed up to where you've forgiven them, and you've gotten to a place where you have elevated not only back up to wherever you were before you met the narcissist, but even beyond that to a higher level, so that you can accept the fact that you know what you went through and you know what the healing process takes. You learn patience in the fact that what you had to be patient with yourself to get through and to learn your mistakes. And you're able to look out in a trajectory with the narcissist reaping their harvest, their negative harvest now today, years out. And because you've healed up, you understand the process. Now, you're not the narcissist, and theirs is going to be way more devastating. And you'll find this out later, because your negative reaping was innocence. For the most part, except for the fact that you started to back them up when you knew they were unjust toward the end. But that's okay. You know, the Lord doesn't judge you hard for that, because you did it all out of love, loyalty, and respect, and because you cared. But once you walk away, all of those energetic ties have got to be cut. You have to heal up. Now, there's a lot of empaths that keep going back, and they don't learn, or they partially wake up and they don't want to go any further. So they almost like stunt their own growth because they don't want to know anymore. You have to be an individual that is ready to hear and to want to grow through all of the answers that you're going to receive. You have to be able to accept them and to want the truth for real. If you can't accept the truth, he'll pull back, but you'll also not advance. You'll be holding your own self back from advancing because you can't handle the full-on truth of how evil these individuals were, or what they did, and the hurt that they associated with you. A lot of times you don't want to know, so you just rather walk in denial. And that only hurts you. It's not that you need to investigate so much, but you need to find a way to find healing and, tell the Lord that whatever's going to come out, you're going to be able to handle it and you're going to be able to process it. And you want to know what you need to know, and you're in acceptance of it. And when they start to get devastated years down the road, when you've healed up and you almost have gotten to a place to where you've elevated and advanced, and they've forgotten about you, or they sure act like they have, and you have forgotten about them, except for, whatever might be partially lingering on that is getting wrapped up and taken care of. There's a lot of times you've dealt with 90% of it, and the last 10% is kind of what you're putting to rest. And as soon as that 99% gets to 100 and you get fully healed up and over it, that's when those energetic ties get cut. And within a period of time, could be within a 6-month period or so, could be that boomerang starts to turn around and come back. And it could have been flying for a couple of years, while you're healing out that way, because it took that long for you to energetically cut ties with them. And words are very powerful. You'll usually voice this, that you're over it, that you're finally beyond it, and you'll say it with some sort of supreme judgment. And it's going to be righteous, and you're going to be healed. You'll probably be talking to the Lord, or you'll be talking to somebody around the way that knows your situation, that's close to you, maybe a friend or something, and you're going to say this with true passion and with conviction that you're done, and you feel it today. And it's very powerful. And typically, I think within not very long, but that boomerang is coming back, and it starts to hit them, the negative reaping. And right when you've really gotten to a place where you don't care anymore, and you've grown and have gotten to a place where you've unpackaged new fruit in your life, so you're convinced that you're beyond it, you've healed up and you've forgiven them. Well, that's when that stuff starts to nail them, and it peels the cat back, man. I mean, they start to get destroyed, and then they'll stand back up, and a lot of times they'll start to know where it's coming from, and then they'll get interested in you again all of a sudden. Could be years, or maybe they find out you're in some relationship, and you've maybe been in it for maybe quite a while or something, and they just thought that you were gonna be there waiting on them or something. I don't know. And a lot of times they want you to come to them, so they're waiting, and that's what always happens, but you just never did. And so then when this negative reaping starts to come back, they start to look around, and they're realizing, where are you? Because it's got to be coming from you, because they checked on everybody else, and everybody else is not advanced, but you're different. And then what happens is usually they start to get infatuated with you all over again, because they start to actually put time into investigating you again, because they want to come back all of a sudden, because the negative reaping gets them to look at you for the first time in quite a while. But then what happens after that, they start to see that, wow, you've grown. Wow, what was I thinking? Look what I'm with. They're looking at their current supply, and they're looking at their harem garage, and they start thinking about all the blessings they had with you back then. And how did they forget about you? But see, what the Lord does is he puts this, they're like magicians, right? But the Almighty has the ability to cover you and to make them forget. He just waves his hand, or just does what he do, and they forget all about you. And that's his protection over you. A lot of times he will protect you even in the spirit realm, to where they're going to figure you out. They'll be blocked in the spirit realm. They won't be able to see anything while you're advancing, while you're taking over new territory. You in the promised land now, baby, and you cross the Jordan, and you knocking out all them giants in here. Those old mindsets you've put to death, you've just buried them. You put them in a casket, and you've got new mindsets, correct ones that line up with the Lord, with the Word. And they start to get infatuated with you, man, because now you've advanced and you've gotten to a place and in empowerment, that is far beyond what they ever expected, because they have an opinion of you, and that opinion of you is way below whatever they thought that you would ever accomplish, and they get that stuck in their head, and you can never progress any further. But when they look back at you several years later, they'll find that they had forgotten about you. The Lord covered you, and you were advancing. While everybody was sleeping, you were studying. While everybody was sleeping, you were grinding. While everybody was sleeping, you were digging yourself out of the holes that the narcissist had put you in, that they thought you were going to be in forever. The debt, the negative reaping, the loss of friendships, and the devastation they placed in your life. How they smeared up your name and your self-worth. But you had ego death, and you told yourself, and you talked to the Lord, and you were well determined that you were going to advance no matter what, and you were going to do it in the right way. You were going to succeed no matter what it took. So you went back to the drawing board, and you started to look at things after you crushed those rose-colored glasses and started to look at everything for what it is. You knocked all the toxic people out of your life. Didn't matter how close they were to you. And you started to follow truth utterly and completely. Now they're infatuated with you again as they reassess, and you've advanced far beyond what they ever thought you would. And you keep turning them down. They even try to spell you, it don't work. And now, because they're reaping this negative, you're also getting positive. And a lot of your energy that's been stuck with them has been coming back all cleansed up and filling you back up with everything that you needed to complete you. And a lot of times when they start to see that negativity, they start to get bashed day after day. You'll start to see it, and you'll be like, I'm not as sensitive as I am, and as much as you care about people, man, you ain't bailing them out, because you've healed up, and you know that, hey, you got to get that. And that's the way it works. And every time they get something negative for the things they've done to you and all the other past supplies, something positive will happen in your life, because you expanded and you made more room. And when you let go of them, you just detached energetically. So you made room for yourself to receive new gifts, new fruit, new relationships, the right ones. And they're obsolete from you. And they can't touch your birthright, and they can't walk all over you no more. And you don't give them any of your energy or power or time. You just keep it moving. And as they fall, you elevate, knowing you're going to stay free until they bury you. I'm going to stay free till the day that they come to bury me. I'm going to break all chains in my brain, and my mind, and my heart, and I'm going to put all the pieces together. And I'm going to work things out with the Lord the way they're supposed to be. You get realigned and centered, and balance in your life comes. And then you can build all those dreams start to come to you and manifest in the physical realm, pulling from the spiritual realm, from your higher self. The narcissist can only pull from the abyss, negativity. They can only manifest that way. And they need you to manifest life into them. That's why you get drained when you're with them, because they're manifesting things for themselves. But everything that they do ends up being a curse, and it will chase them the rest of their life until they decide they want to change, if that is even possible. I do not know. But if you can give me a like, subscription, and thumbs up, love y'all. Till next time, Soul Jeff, peace, we out.